Well, that's a longer story than maybe you want to hear. When I finished university, I was sort of inspired by John Kennedy's Peace Corps. And I thought that was an alternative for me. And I didn't really want to do a fifth year of school, so I thought, let's go see other parts of the world. And I joined the Peace Corps, and I ended up going to Fiji and got a taste of being a foreigner and being overseas. And it actually got in my blood. I went back to the U.S. and tried to stay there for a while, but as soon as I got back, I knew I wanted to go back overseas. So as soon as the opportunity cropped up, we went with my wife and my one child to Pakistan, Karachi. And I taught 5 years there, had a great experience. And then we moved on to Singapore. We were actually sort of recruited, and they pulled us over to Singapore. Never planned to stay more than 5 years, but I had my children in school here. They were in about 6th grade, 3rd grade by that time. My children begged us to stay, and I thought there was a lot worse places to go, so we stayed. And of course I was, at the time, very much involved coaching girls soccer and very much into that. I tell my students math was the one subject that I could do while I listened to music. If I did social studies or English, I had to turn the music off. But math I could do by listening to music, and so I sort of got into that.
He does notes on the whiteboard, which none of the teachers do anymore. And so one of the things that's happy about having him is that I learn better when teachers teach like that rather than showing videos. And so I'm really grateful to him for doing that.
I'm probably more traditional. I think most people tend to teach the way they were taught, actually, and I confess, my teachers, that was a long time ago. So I keep my chairs in straight rows, and I'll lecture a bit, but I try and get the class involved. I pepper a lot of questions to the students, and I try and keep everybody on their toes, and I try and do a good job of explaining things.
The notebook is, it's a lot of work, but you have a great record of everything you've learned in that class. And it was great because when my brother was taking geometry and he had questions, I could consult my notebook.
When I first started it, and I would hammer them because they weren't keeping their notes in what I considered a well-organized fashion, because to me, half of mathematics, at least half of it, is just being well organized and things fall into place. So yeah, there were people who fought it in the beginning, but I always get reports from students coming back from university, and they say their notebook really saved them. They made it much easier when they got to university. They even used it when they were trying to teach other people. At least you leave my classroom with something in your hand.
Hard to say that it's my favorite, but I guess his whole quiz seat sort of thing is one that I'll definitely remember because it was always so random and it was always so intense. The class really bonded together because we didn't know when it was going to come. And Mr. Adams would always have that kind of evil-esque smile that goes on as he says, "Take your quiz seat." And yeah, I guess that's something I'll always remember from taking his calc class.
The room is absolutely silent, right? And then just out of nowhere, he just grabs, he's got this horn that makes a really loud noise, sort of like a car horn noise. And he squeezes it, and everybody flips out. It's pretty great.
Certainly when I use my horn, my foghorn there, watching students jump out of their seats is usually amusing.
On the field, I really admired his passion for soccer and how he sort of implemented that in his coaching because it made it a lot more stronger and it made us better players.
I think the teams I work with understand my passion for it, and I think it sort of feeds off to them. And I work very hard in trying to get everybody to improve and play the best they can. And I think they understand that and appreciate it. Just like my math classes, I think that they realize the same thing, that we have a common goal. Oh, memorable moments.
Yeah.
Definitely. I can go back to 1988, the second year I was coaching the girls' soccer team. And we were playing at SAS back in Kings Road. And in those days, it was a bit of a, you were sort of in a valley there. The field was in a valley, and people sat up on the hillside overlooking it. And we made it to the championship, and the championship game went 0-0 full time, and we had to go to penalties, and we won it on penalties. And I just remember everybody pouring down to the field and being quite emotional about the whole thing. Singapore American School has been my life here, especially in the last 10 or so years, where I put a lot of time here. I stayed late at school, and I don't have a family to go home to, so this is my family here. And I have my friends are on the faculty, and some of the students have become friends over the years. So I'll miss that. It'll be quite different going back to the U.S. and trying to be an American again. I haven't done that in a long time. A little scary, actually.
I'll miss you, Dadams.
We'll miss you, Dadams.
I'll miss you, Dadams.
We'll miss you, Dadams.
Okay, this is my official farewell to SAS. Goodbye.